Welcome back to the Big Pop Podcast. I'm your host, Sully, aka Kayfabe Crimes, and I'm joined by my ever lovely co-host, Nav. Nav, we are going to be doing a tournament. We are
Yes.
booking our own tournament today. We've been so excited to do this. So let me lay down the ground rules for this tournament. Myself and Nav have both come to you with 12 competitors each. From those 12 competitors, we will be whittling it down to 8 superstars. Those 8 superstars and all 12 of each of us are wrestlers who have never won a world title in WWE. We are not including the developmental titles as world titles, just so you guys know. And the winner of this tournament gets a championship title opportunity. So we're going to be initially whittling it down to 8 people, and then we're going to be going through the tournament and deciding who eventually will win the tournament in the end.
Yes. So we're gonna have 10 minutes to choose our participants, the eight, to whittle down to the eight, and then we'll have 10 more minutes. I'll set timers to actually book the tournament and
Hmm.
determine a winner where we have to agree. It has to be a,
Ooh,
a consensus, unanimous decision. And so that's the fun and the challenge.
yeah.
So
Okay.
let me know when you're ready and I can start the timer.
Cool. Okay. Okay. I will start and I'll introduce all 12 of mine.
You can suggest
Okay.
one, two, however many.
Okay. I'm gonna go through all 12 of mine and then we'll see.
Okay.
So, in no particular order, aka the order I remembered the wrestlers. We're starting with Sami Zayn,
Mm,
LA Knight,
mm,
Carmelo,
mm.
Ilya Dragunov,
Okay.
Jacob Fatu, Penta,
Okay.
my favorite Tamatanga, uh,
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. Iguana,
Sure.
Obafemi,
Right.
Montez Ford,
Mm,
Vikingo, and Wildcard Rusev.
okay. So I had like I think half of those.
I literally
Sammy,
thought so.
LA, Carmelo, Ilya, and Rusev was on my like just in case because I
Yeah.
sort of think I couldn't think of people towards the end. But yeah, that was like four or five that we had this like literally the four that you said immediately were the four like so this could be good because maybe that means they're automatically in,
Yeah.
since I mean we both have on the
That
list, but
I was thinking of pitching that. I was thinking if we both have the same person, do they get an automatic buy and get in?
I mean sounds good to me. So that's
Maybe.
I'll write this down. That's Sammy, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Ilya Dragunov, which thank you for the Ilya love because I
I,
am
I knew
obsessed with
you'd want
him.
Ilya in here.
Yeah, I was like, I know he's injured, but he's a current. That's the other rule is it has to be a current
Yeah.
superstar. Um, so cool. Okay, so those solid roster there, I will say.
Yeah.
Some I'm not as familiar with, particularly the like AAA ones and things,
Yeah.
but um, you know, uh, so I have a few different ones.
Oh, okay.
I have uh I'm excluding the ones that we've now
Okay,
already,
yeah.
talked about that we share. Additionally to Sammy, LA, Carmelo, Ilya, I have Karrion Cross,
Mm,
I have Chad Gable,
yeah.
Santos Escobar,
Yeah.
Ethan Page,
Mm.
Xavier Woods, R Truth, Wes Lee, and Otis.
Oh, yeah, there's quite a few there that I was thinking of adding to my list. Like Gable in particular was one I was like, oh, I want to put him on there, but also I don't know. Ethan Page is a surprise. I didn't think of Ethan Page.
I've become such a huge Ethan Page fan. And I feel because I don't think we mentioned this. This is
Mhm.
for the IC championship.
Yeah, a mid-card title.
Yeah, or yeah, mid cartel. So I think Ethan Page would be a perfect mid card champion. I think he is so suited for that like upper mid card role and just being that person that like especially as a heel like people
Hmm.
have to like he cheats to win and it's just this constant chase that he keeps like basically JBL during his WWE championship run but
Yeah.
obviously for the IC title but he's also super talented in the ring and everything so it's not like he wouldn't be put on good matches so but I think he carries himself so well that he would be great to hold a title.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I preferred him as the Karate Man in
Okay.
TNA. But I get it. I think he's a good like upper mid card heel, kind of what they wish I think Braun Breaker was right
Mm,
now.
right.
Like because Ethan Page has a lot more personality than Braun.
Right.
He's kind of like the Miz, but like can wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no, and I mean, because I know you have your feelings about the Miz, but yeah, I agree actually. Even like
Mm,
watching him in NXT, I was like, oh, he really feels like the Miz in terms of the personality
yeah.
and the charisma, the mic skills. So I was just like, yeah, he seems like a perfect upper
Hmm.
mid card heel. So but here's the thing that we also have to think about because the current champion is Dominic Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
Is
I
he a heel or a face? I don't fully understand.
I think it depends on the lady who is currently trying to seduce him. I I don't know because he cuts heel promos, but he's so over. He's like he's a tweener
Yeah.
basically, so you can
But
kind of go either way.
right. So in terms of booking though, like
Hmm.
we do have to think who would, the winner would be
Yeah.
facing him. So it's like, oh, do we book a heel to win or do we book a face to win? These are all
Mm.
factors. Um, but yeah, I mean, so we have four already, which is
Yeah.
great.
Hmm.
Um, And so now we just gotta determine four more, which we have Sammy, LA, Ilya, and Carmelo. Three
Hmm.
out of four are faces, so that's also
Yeah, yeah.
something to consider.
Yeah, I was
Which,
thinking we need some heels.
yeah, and time check 4 minutes, 19
Oh
seconds.
God.
So we only got 4 minutes to determine the next four, which is a good amount of time.
Okay.
Um,
Three faces. So we got basically 4-4. No,
right.
we'll see. We'll see. Because there's some like face on face matches that would be quite good.
True, true. Yeah, definitely could do a face. I don't think heel versus heel is necessarily the
Mm.
the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, unless you have two super over heels, like
Hmm.
that they're basically tweeners in essence.
Yeah.
But um, I do think, yeah, face v face is okay, and face v heel, obviously. So, yeah, let's try to get some heels in here.
I think you pitched me on Ethan Page.
Okay, perfect,
I have to add Ethan Page.
awesome. I'm not gonna complain about that one. Anybody you want to really like
Oh,
root for or
from
suggest
my
to put in this?
end, I wanna push probably Obafemi.
Mm,
I want, I want to see him in a match. I think it'd be a good showcase. And he's a bigger guy. I don't think we have anyone that's quite like physically large
right.
in this.
Yeah. Oba could be really fun with a lot of these people already.
Hmm.
Um, and also, this is something I've wanted for a long time. I've wanted someone who's in NXT to show up on the main roster and like while
Make
still
us,
being like NXT champ, win the Rumble, win King of the Ring,
yeah,
Queen of the Ring, um, and just like move ahead in that way. And like if there's anybody to do it, I would
it's
say it's
over.
Oba.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done it with Stephanie, to be honest, but
Yeah, for sure.
Triple
Which,
H.
okay, now that you mentioned Oba, and I know, well, we're doing the IC title, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Um, I want Jacob versus Oba.
I do want Jacob versus Oprah. I think just in general that would be a banger in real life.
Yeah,
Um, but
because
yeah,
he's
okay.
basically a face now, right, Jacob? Like,
Yeah, I think the way they've kind of turned him on Solo, he's basically a face. Who Solo was the name I was considering for this as well.
yeah, I had
But
him
I
on the
think,
back burner in case I couldn't
yeah,
think of anybody else.
yeah.
Um, okay, I will. We got we need one more heal, and we got a little less than 2 minutes, so we can figure this out. Oh, I mean. part of me wants to say Wesley. I think that'll be fun just because he's like so different.
Hmm.
I think him and Carmelo are very different in the ring.
Yeah.
Carmelo does high flying stuff, but like Wesley is a crazy high flyer.
Melo's like bulked up.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I also, especially with all the kind of press and momentum that he has, Karrion Cross is a big name I'd like to consider.
Karrion Cross, I think I wanted to put on this, but I was just like, they don't let him wrestle as well, but we're booking it so we can let him wrestle however the hell we want.
Yeah.
So, and
The
he
only
could
other,
fit like a tweener role.
right. Yeah. Where you could do like him versus Oba, even though they're both technically, I
Yeah.
think they're both technically tweeners now because like
Yeah.
Oba's, they're turning Oba. Um, but even still, like him versus, Carmelo or it would be fun. Or him versus Paige would be a really fun matchup
Yeah.
too. The only other name I really would push is Chad Gable.
Yeah. I just,
I'm saying Gable, not El Grande Americana.
okay. Okay.
Just
This is
wanna
they
clar-
push Chad Gable so much for the
Right.
IC title and he never wins.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'm
but
just
I
saying
guess.
like that's the only other name that I would, if not Cross.
Hmm.
But I'm pretty sold on Cross. I mean,
I I personally am slightly more sold on Cross than Gable.
that's fine. We have 10 seconds left, so I mean
Oh, how many have we got?
eight.
Eight?
That'll be eight.
Oh,
Cross
okay,
is the
okay, okay.
last
That's it.
one,
That's it.
so
Okay,
we'll be
cool, cool,
good.
cool. All good. Oh,
Yeah, so to review, we have Sami Zayn, LA Knight, Ilya Dragunov, Jacob Fatu, Carmelo Hayes, Ethan Page, Oba Femi, and Karrion Cross.
okay, that's it.
That 10 minutes flew.
That went very fast.
We're just lucky we had the same names. Like
Yeah,
I,
for
I think
four
if
of
we didn't
them,
have the same names, we would have not made the
we
10
were well
minutes.
over. Oh, rip Mr. Iguana. You
He
can
can,
challenge for the speed title.
yeah, open the show, right, with a speed. We'll do a speed tournament later, speed King of the Ring later. So now we have to actually put the tournament together.
Okay,
We might need
so
15, but I think we should just try for 10 minutes.
yeah, we'll try for 10. So we're doing four singles matches
Yeah,
to start off with. Okay,
yes.
yeah,
One, two, three, four. Yeah. So
yeah.
two brackets basically. Um,
Quarters, semis.
Let me just set this up on my little document. So it's
Two, yeah,
one,
quarters.
two, three, four. Yeah. So whoops.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna start the timer. And all right, any matchups in mind that like
I think we put. Oh, this okay. It's the first match as well, isn't it? So we. Who am I happy? Okay, I'm happy for LA Knight to go out in the first round.
ooh, okay.
I don't know how you feel on that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, seems like that's his role, the perennial
Yeah.
just a pin eater. But yeah, I'm that's fine with me.
I don't know how you feel about this. I think he'd be good for one of the like fr quote unquote fresher names, so like people who don't really aren't booked super strong to beat as a way to
Right.
quickly get them over. So I'm thinking Cross, Ober, Page, maybe Mello, one of those four.
You're right. Okay. LA Knight, him versus Mello could be good. Him versus Femi would be him versus Femi could be really good because it like I don't know, the match would be decent, but I'm more
Hmm.
focused on if Femi like establishes himself by destroying a
Yeah.
fan favorite in LA Knight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like it could work that way, where it's like it just makes him look really good and like kind of sets the tone of like, okay, this isn't just like who,
Hmm.
people like are gonna get pushed. It's just more of a really building people up
Yeah.
situation. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Oberfemi just fits it. And obviously I don't know if we're doing like if we're considering promos and stuff, but LA Knight trying to, do his thing with Obafemi. And Obafemi's just like, okay, little man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that I think works for me. Um yeah, I mean that's cool. I don't see any complaint. You're not gonna get a complaint from me. I think that's a good uh thing. So I will say,
Hmm.
because I don't want them to be in the finals, Fatu
Okay.
or Femi.
Okay.
I think they should actually be on the same bracket.
So then they can face each other
Yeah.
prior to the final.
Yeah, like they'll face each other in the semifinals.
Hmm.
I think that's a really compelling semifinal match.
Okay.
So I think, oh dang, who should he face though?
Yeah, who will he face and beat?
Yeah, that's the issue is who's he beat. Okay, so Jacob Fatu. I don't. This is. I don't want any of them to lose, honestly. But
I think we needed more people who were like, yeah, they can eat a loss.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could do Carmelo. I love Carmelo, but I also don't need him to go super far, honestly.
Has he had a match with Jacob Fatu yet? I don't think
I don't
so.
think so because they've both been heels until
Yeah, they're both
recently.
heels.
So, and like the size difference, but also like Fatu's agility and speed and everything kind of
Hmm.
like matches Carmelo, so it'd be a really fun matchup.
Yeah, I think they could put on a banger.
Right. And look, someone has to lose.
Yeah,
That's just
unfortunately.
what tournaments are. So, okay, so we got Jacob Fatu versus Carmelo and LA versus Oba in the first
Ooh,
seed, first round, whatever, on one
ooh.
side. Now the second side. Then we got Ilya, Sammy, Page, and Cross left.
Well, there's one that's a built-in match
Mm,
that WWE's been booking,
okay.
which is Cross and Sammy.
Oh, yeah.
But do we want to put Ethan with Ilya?
Yeah.
Because if Ethan's coming in as a heel, I th hmm, okay. I'll quickly pitch something. If it's Cross versus Sammy, I think Cross can win.
Right.
But if we put Cross with Ilya, Cross is going out.
Yeah. And I'm similar to what you were saying, we were saying about LA. I'm fine with Sammy losing round one, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because he's gotten plenty of opportunities for various things. So like
Hmm.
he's kind of just that established guy to like
Yeah.
and a favorite who people are going to root for. And it's similar concept of like, oh, he gets
Yeah.
beaten, you know.
Mhm.
So and I because I do want to at least give Cross a win.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I like that. And as much as I was praising Page before, uh again, mid
Yeah.
card heel, Miz
Yeah.
style players. Again, similar concept to the Zayn, but as a heel,
Hmm.
and like
Yeah.
in my vision here, Ilya's returning literally from his injury.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna
And
have him lose first round
and
at
I
least.
I also think because of the position Paige is in as well, like him losing is kind of the thing.
Right.
Like as we've described him as kind of like a Miz type character.
Mm-hmm.
So far in WWE, obviously. He's there basically to lose.
Right. Okay. So then I think through this discussion we've also determined who like the next matchups are because we said Femi beats Knight
Yeah.
and Fatu beats Hayes.
Yeah.
So the semis are Femi versus Fatu, which my goodness, what a freaking
Jesus.
match.
Jesus. Big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, and then you got Dragunov versus Cross, which
Which
also should be a hard-hitting match.
also, actually, I think a far better match than people would probably think, especially if WWE lets like changes Cross's moveset from a powerhouse to more of like his martial arts type stuff he used to do in the
Yeah.
indies.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be really fascinating if you built up Cross at this point to be not only that, but also the
Mm.
like just absolute like super vicious
Yeah.
villain because Ilya sells pain like no one else.
Hmm.
So like if Cross is laying in strikes, Ilya is making it seem 1,000 times worse than it
Yeah.
is in the best way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just both of these are hard hitting, crazy matches, honestly. And now for the
Um,
winners for these matches, we have to decide.
uh,
I have my thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts.
okay. The one that I think for me I'm finding easier to book, I'm saying Ilya wins against Cross,
Right.
but like he's like dead at the end of it. Like Cross
Sure.
has beaten the bejesus out of him.
Yeah.
But he like goes into that trance zone and just like murders Cross for the win.
Sure.
A Femi Fatu, I'm actually quite stuck on.
So
Um,
I I think it should be Femi. And
okay.
you can do a thing where Solo costs Jacob the match,
Oh, I
right?
hate you, Solo.
The bloodline Tama Tonga or Tonga Loa returns and costs.
Hikaleu finally debuts.
There you go. Or whatever, was it JC Mateo? I
JC,
don't.
yeah.
He costs Fatu the match. You know, they literally
Mm,
do to Fatu what Fatu has been doing since he debuted.
yeah.
Um, Mostly because as great as Fatu versus Dragunov would be, I think
Mm.
Femi versus Dragunov would be
Look crazy.
basically Gunther versus Dragunov, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
and also
Oh,
I mean, any four of these as potential people to face Dominic is
yeah.
hilarious. But Dragunov and Femi in particular, because of how hard they hit, it is like you just have to have Dominic sitting in the finals on the outside and just
Uh,
wincing at every shot, every
oh,
strike, every slap,
God.
every chop. It's just so that's
Yeah.
my pitch for Femi. But if you think Fatu makes sense,
No, I really like Obafemi, so I do think I'm being a bit biased by going with Obafemi. I like Fatu as well, but I just love Obafemi.
yeah, but it
So my justification is going to be my bias for Femi,
that's
but also
fine.
I think that final that we're pitching now is gonna like bang.
Yeah. And also it goes with the whole thing of like introduce a new person
Hmm.
and like establish them by beating these like fan favorites and well
Hmm.
established like Fatu was the guy to come in and just wreck shop. Now it's Femi, you
Yeah.
know, and so it's just like kind of that passing of the torch kind of
Yeah.
thing. All right, now I don't know who wins. I don't actually have a
Ah.
pitch for who wins.
I don't have a picture who wins, but I've got two different kind of paths because of the outcome.
Okay.
So I'm thinking,
We're gonna go a little over time, but it's fine. We're at like
yeah.
12 seconds, so
Oh, okay,
whatever,
that's
it's
fine.
fine.
Yeah. So I think if Dragonov wins, the matches with Dom might end up being like Dragonov brings the best out of Dom and Dom
Mm,
like becomes a really good wrestler and puts on good matches. Um, you might be able to play the Judgment Day into it as well because Dragonov's the face.
yeah.
If it's Obafemi squashes Dom.
Oh yeah.
Like he pulls like a Kevin Owens John Cena, just absolutely wrecks him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. 100% if it's Femi. I like what you're saying about Dragunov. I think basically what you do is kind of what they did with him and Trick. I know
hmm
you don't maybe watch NXT as much, but
mm,
so Trick was starting to break out on his own from Carmelo,
yeah.
and he had this breakout match with Dragunov. He
Mm,
lost, but he looked fierce. He looked good, and Dragunov made him look really good. And
yeah.
then that carried on months later. They feuded again for the championship, and
Okay.
Trick finally took it from Dragunov after like I think another one or two matches,
Okay.
right? But like you could do the same with Dom, kind of inverse, where again, yeah, like
Hmm.
Judgment Day is interfering, and so now it's all these like, yeah, you can't beat Dragunov, and that kind of also
Yeah.
turns Dom fully face because he's like,
Hmm.
well, no, give me let me take him on, you
Yeah.
know, and he loses because he didn't get any help.
Yeah.
But Dragunov shakes his hand at the end, raises his arm, you know,
Mm,
and like it makes, like you said, he brings out the best in
mm.
Dom, and in ring especially because like he's got the character work down, the
Yeah.
mic work.
Yeah.
I think his in ring work has always been like the weaker part.
Yeah.
Not that he's
Yeah.
bad, I just think he's just not polished enough. He's still
Hmm.
very like slower at moments and not as, you
Yeah.
know, like maybe sure of himself. And I think someone
Hmm.
like Dragunov would actually be perfect to elevate his
True.
ability.
True. True. and then you can the commiserating, and then it feels like yeah, and turns on him. Um,
Yeah,
oh yeah, because I think the story you get out of Dragonov is better television.
yeah,
I think the Femi match is more like if you want that shock booking, but it's not going to be longer term.
right.
Um, or you could possibly make it longer term, but
You
like
could.
I just think with Dragonov, you can't really book him to squash Dom, whereas Femi, you're kind of compelled to because Obafemi is a specimen of a human being.
Yeah, yeah. Secondary pitch. Because I mean, we threw Jacob Fatu in here,
Yeah,
but he is the
yeah,
U.S. champ.
true.
So, so Femi could challenge him,
Yeah, if
and
you,
and
yeah,
and actually, I think it'd be interesting if he squat, not maybe not squashed, but like over like dominated Jacob,
mm,
right? Like everything Jacob throws at him is like he does the same thing. He doesn't flinch when he hits a move
yeah.
and stuff like that. And like we get a taste of it in this match with the
Ah,
DQ finish or like whatever
then
uh
solo,
the
yeah,
interference is
interference,
like,
yeah,
oh, so
dusty
it's not a
finish.
we need a so Femi's like, no, I wanna beat you because I
Okay,
want to
yeah,
prove to you I'm so damn good. Um and I mean, both scenarios are so fun. I do love the squash of Dom. Like, I think that's so
yeah,
funny. But to your point,
yeah,
you can get like a 3 month stretch with the Dragon
yeah,
of Dom, and you get a better, ideally, right? We're booking this in our minds, but like you get a better outcome with Dom being a more proficient wrestler and also
yeah,
respected in ring more.
yeah,
So it's like there's more long-term gain in that way as well. Because then now if he's like
yeah.
a better performer overall, well then he's helping put other people over
Mhm.
and just kind of passing that along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think let's go with Dragonov.
Yeah.
I think
Also, he's
he
returning, so like,
true. Yeah, exactly.
so
It's got this of that big feel.
yeah, awesome.
Okay,
Honestly,
cool.
I thought this was gonna be easier, but the once we got to the actual matches, it was definitely tougher. Um,
Yeah.
but this still was fairly simple because we limited the scope, right? Like if
Yeah,
we
we did
had
eight players, eight wrestlers.
not just that, but if we allowed like former world champions
Yeah.
in, right, then it gets way more complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we can do in the future.
True.
I wanted to keep it simple for the first one,
hmm
and spotlight people who don't normally
Yeah.
get the attention. So that was my vision behind it. But yeah, I mean, Ilya Dragunov wins. He's king of the ring as he should be. Should have been pushed when he was first debuted on Raw, but
Yeah.
they're too focused on Bland Breaker. I hope he returns and just I hope he takes the title from Gunther, actually. That is my hope.
Genuinely, we've not spoken about it, but like makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. It was,
'Cause
I don't think I told you this because we weren't talking really at the time, but it was my wish that that he would dethrone Gunther for the IC title. And then
Mhm.
he would just kind of be this like ghost or
Yeah.
like this thing for Gunther. Every time Gunther gets to the next level, gets a different championship, whatever, and he's like, "Look at me, I'm so great." Ilya comes out and he's just like,
Yeah.
"I can't escape this man," like
That's what they did in NXT UK and I think partly in NXT,
yeah,
where like Ilya comes in and they're like, "Oh, this is the only guy that's beaten Gunther in OVW and Jordan Devlin." Um, and then he takes the NXT title. It's like, "Oh my God, he's here in NXT as well. Why won't you leave me alone?"
right. But it would just be so funny and just follow that continuity into IC title, into the World Championship, into like he stops him, he wins the Royal Rumble instead of Gunther or something.
Yeah,
Just like everywhere Gunther goes, he can't get rid of this guy who's just like a gnat to him.
it's literally your like European version of Cena Orton, just
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah. I mean, and they're just so good. They're magic together.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal. So like, I I think there's a unannounced competitor for the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping it is Ilya.
I'm hoping it's Ilya. It might be one of the AAA guys.
Hmm.
Just because maybe they're trying to like put. I think Mr. Iguana was on Raw, I
Okay.
think, as well. So I think they're maybe going to try and push the AAA folks.
Yeah, but I mean, especially now that Gunther has the title back,
Mm-mm.
like, don't give him another 6 month reign. Just have it till SummerSlam and have
Yeah,
Ilya take it from him.
it's got to be
Uh,
Sammy.
I wouldn't be mad at Sammy. Sammy's kind of doing what I want them to do
Yeah,
with Ilya, where he
yeah,
is like
exactly.
pursuing Gunther everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Um, yeah, tell us. I mean, you can close it out actually.
Guys, let us know in the comments what you guys thought of our tournament. Do you think we are terrible bookers and should never be anywhere near a pencil? Alternatively, tell us how great we are, how, we're the next coming of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Uh, you can find
Wait,
us.
wait, wait. Who's
Oh,
Triple
okay.
H and who's Shawn Michaels?
I find it funny that you think you could be Triple H. Let me get my shovel.
I'll be, I'll be, uh, I'll be HB Shizzle.
uh, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Nav the Poet, Nav the Poet, no spaces, no underscores on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And where can they find you, Sully?
You can find me at Kayfabe Crimes. That's crimes with a K. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You can also find us at the Big Pop Podcast here on YouTube and on TikTok and Instagram. It's Big Pop underscore pod. I think I meant TikTok and Instagram to say there. Uh, you know, Once again, let us know how fantastic we are as bookers in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and hey, watch some bangers.